because they talk.
How is that in a text message? That wasn't broadcast to the world.
Oh, Lord.
So this idea that just because Mr. Myrick doesn't know him specifically does not mean that they're not guilty of the crime, which they could be. It's talk about witness credibility, specifically about experts and what our experts say. But if you go back to any of our experts' testimony, Belknap, Dennis, Gaither, Underwood, the things that they talked about, there were examples of it. They talked about YSL was a hybrid gang. It was Bloods and Crips, and they kind of got together. Well, we know that because Martinez Arnold's a Crip. Some of them, Mr. Williams is a Blood. You saw when we talk about sex, money, murder. You see them hanging out together. You see them committing crimes together. Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Arnold in a car with guns on their way to Trestle Tree. We can infer, go shoot it up. That's what they talked about when it says a hybrid gang. They talked about the music, and we're going to get to the music in a minute. They talked about
one thing that she is not doing is telling a story. I know she's doing a rebuttal with her nice little gold Rolex. Maybe it's fake. She's got a presidential bracelet, though. But, man, maybe she got some from that Fanny Fatterson fund money. But she should be telling a story and not just simply rebutting arguments. It's fine to do that, but you dang well should tell a story while doing it. They already know to be fair and impartial.
And one of your numbers says, I'm not delivering it. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm not doing any of this. You need to bring that to the deputy's attention so they can bring it to the court's attention. Because you have
Oh, now she wants them to snitch on each other.
A duty to sit down, evaluate the facts.
Oh, my God. They're already worried.
So let's talk about the evidence of the defendant's guilt. So earlier this morning, Mr. Atkins talked to you about count 57, participation in criminal street gang activity. He talked to you about count 1, conspiracy to violate the RICO Act, and counts 50 and 51. I'm not going to harp on that again, but I thought it interesting when Mr. Weinstein said, well, we haven't proved count 50 and 51 and 57. You know, the state, they're all dressed in red. We are. Red's probably my favorite color. But you know the one thing that's different? We don't do criminal gang activity. And the court's going to define what that is. See, we're not here because people wear the same colors. They can wear all the greens they want. They can wear all the snakes they want. If they all want to tattoo YSL on
Is she mad at somebody? I'm not understanding here.
The problem when you start doing criminal street gang activity, like murdering Donovan Thomas, murdering Chanel Drinks, murdering...
Well, you should have proved it.
That is what the violation is, not being a member of the gang.
Actually, it is part of the count.
So
to be in the organization.
On the left-hand side were the charges for Mr. Kendrick. On the right-hand side were the charges for Mr.
Lord Mighty.
Is what they were both charged with. So Mr. Kendrick is charged with possession of marijuana with intent to distribute.
Well, that's enough.
May 9, 2022, when he was found running from Mr. Williams' house. Remember, the officer came and said that they both must have been out of breath.
Don't mean Williams had anything to do with it.
The drugs and the guns that were found inside the house. The marijuana.
And that's a problem.
So in order to prove this, we have to show that the defendant possessed with the intent to distribute any and out of marijuana. Marijuana includes all parts of the plant. What it does not include... In
Alabama, that will get you a felony. Simply sharing a joint will get you a freaking felony in Alabama. I kid you not. Seen it too many times.
Possession must be actual, constructive, sold, or joint. So we're going to tell you that it's not actual possession. No one caught him with the marijuana. We're going to talk about actual possession. At the time of the alleged offense, he did not have direct physical control over the marijuana or firearm, but did know he had both the ability and the intention to exercise control over the marijuana.
This should have been done on the freaking initial direct in closing.
What evidence do we have? I know Mr. Weinstein didn't have.
This should have been done in closing, not on a rebuttal.
The home of Mr. Williams.
Oh my Lord!
That's the money counter that was sitting next to the Tupperware bowl.
You should have showed all this in the initial closing.
That's the more marijuana that was in that cabinet in that same kitchen, right across from where the Tupperware bowl of the marijuana was. And those are the 2 guns that were found inside there.
Let's keep my guns next to my dope so I can get more felonies.
SWAT, when they came, did not immediately make entry into the house. It was like announced, it was loud. So I submit to you that they had the opportunity to put stuff away, to hide stuff, because they didn't just come in immediately, ladies and gentlemen. So you can take that into consideration as you deliver.
Why?
Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony.
They were going to find it regardless. Why would they hide it? That doesn't even make sense.
While committing a crime against or involving another person. For Mr. Stillwell is murder. For Mr. Kendrick is the possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. So how do we show this? On the left is Shannon Stillwell. That is Mr. Drake inside of the vehicle. We know that Mr. Drake was shot with a 40 caliber gun.
And we found a 40 caliber, even though he didn't match. The ballistics didn't match. We found one. Therefore, he must have done it.
That shot and killed Mr. Drake because he's dead and because we have the bullet. You can infer that that's a circumstantial evidence. Your direct evidence.
Wait, say what again?
You have bullets. We know those.
No, hang on.
What? So the only way you can infer that the shooter, Mr. Stillwell, possessed a firearm. Mr. Kendrick, again, you have the firearms inside of the house at the time when the house was raided. There was the firearm in a moment. Possession must be to hide stuff because they didn't just come in and need it, ladies and gentlemen. So you can take that into consideration as you deliberate. Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. So the state must prove that the defendant had a firearm on his person or within arm's reach while committing a crime against or involving another person. For Mr. Stillwell is murder. For Mr. Kendrick is the possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. So how do we show this? On the left is Shannon Stillwell. That is Mr. Drake inside of the vehicle. We know that Mr. Drake was shot with a 40 caliber gun, possibly of a Glock, and we're going to talk about this Glock in a moment. So you can infer, although
no, you can't,
that Mr. Stillwell possessed the gun that shot and killed.
You don't have the gun
because he's dead and because we have the bullet. You can infer that that's a circumstantial evidence. Your direct evidence is someone is deceased. You have bullets. You know those bullets.
But you don't have the gun.
So the only way you can infer that the shooter, Mr. Stillwell, possessed a firearm.
Does not mean that he killed someone. Made a bad decision having a gun and dope. Yeah, but I don't mean he killed anyone. You don't have the gun to match the bullet.
They're also both charged with possession of a firearm by convicted felon.
Well, that is what it is.
You have to show for Mr. Stillwell, he has two.
You're reaching, man.
I was listening. Mr. Sharp never talked about count 64. But we're going to talk about count 64.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Is that he's a convicted felon and he had a firearm when he murdered Chanel Drinks. And in count 64, which is when he
that would also be a felony murder.
Found in the middle of the road, that we charged him with that weapon as well. And then again with Mr. Kendrick, that there were guns and drugs at Allison Drive on midnight. And let me also say that in the indictment, possession of a firearm by convicted felon is going to be a lesser included of what is charged. What is charged is a different charge, but possession of a firearm by convicted felon is a lesser charge. And the court is going to instruct you, and you can find both of them guilty. Because
obviously, when you commit a felony with a firearm and you kill someone, that is the lesser included. That is, you obviously did it with a gun. That's how you get there. They're dead from the gun. And if you're a felon in possession, even not, they still say you did it in the commission of a felony, which is still gets you a different charge. You're screwed. Either which way, you're screwed.
So long as you believe that both of them possess a firearm.
But for this one, it's a convicted felon.
What do you have in evidence? You have State Exhibit 50G and State Exhibit 32. Both of those are the indictments of Mr. Stillwell, which he was charged with in conviction of a felony. So that is the felony that we're saying he should not have been in violation.
Well,
he should not have possessed the firearm.
that's okay.
As I just discussed, because he's a convicted felon, he should have never had a firearm when he murdered Chanel. For count 64, what do we have? Remember, this is on March 17th, after they fled from the Chick-fil-A. And remember, Trooper Campbell came and said that he found the gun in the middle of the road. You saw the dash cam video when he kind of turned around and found this gun. Then we brought in Mr. Stillwell's former girlfriend at the time, Taisha Alexander. She said that she had bought the gun. That was her gun. That gun came back to Ms. Alexander when we were able to compare the serial numbers on both the gun that was collected and the receipt from Arrowhead Pond. And further, we played these wiretap calls for you.
Hello? Yeah. I don't know. Trying to call, like, give me play on IP tape to the Baba house.
Yeah.
Why can't he have IP tape if he's a real legit?
Yeah.
He got my legit gun.
So the fact that she says he got my legit gun, which is that gun right here, he should never have ever even been in possession of it.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on either, because usually they'll call, like how he got my gun.
Yeah.
They'll call me like, come get your gun, but they ain't even call me. So I don't know if he where my gun is. I don't know what's going on.
And again, this phone call was done on March 17th, the day he got arrested, the day Mr. Stillwell, got arrested. Now for Mr. Kendrick, you have in evidence Exhibit 487 BB, which is a certified copy of conviction of Mr. Kendrick. And again, because he's a convicted felon, he should not have been in constructive possession of any of these guns that are inside the home. So now, based upon what we have shown you, they are guilty of, right now, count 1, count 50, 51, 52, 54, 57, 58, 61, 63, and 64. So let's spend some time on the murders, because that is what we need to talk about. So for the murders, Mr. Stillwell is charged with count 2 and count 49, which is Donovan Thomas Jr. and Shamel Drinks. And Mr. Kendrick is charged solely with count 2, which is the death of Donovan Thomas Jr. You're going to hear the court read you an instruction about intent. Intent is every essential element of any crime must be proved by the state beyond a reasonable doubt. It may be shown in many ways, provided that you, the jury, believe that it existed from the proven facts before you. It may be inferred from the proven circumstances or by acts and conduct, or it may be in your discretion inferred when it is the natural and necessary consequence of the act. Intent does not mean the intention to violate the law or to violate a criminal statute, but it means simply the intention to commit the act that is prohibited by the statute. So what is it? What are the elements that we have to prove for murder? That Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Kendrick caused the death of another person, here, Donovan Thomas and Shamel Drink, unlawfully and with malice aforethought. What is malice? It is not necessarily ill will or hatred, rather it is the unlawful intent. To kill. You may find malice when the circumstances show that the defendant acted with deliberate intention to unlawfully take the life of another person, or where there does not appear to be significant provocation and all the circumstances show an abandoned and malignant heart. You often hear about premeditation. Some of you like watching these crime shows. The state does not have to prove premeditation to prove murder. So we don't have to sit and say you planned it out and you all mapped it out and that you knew you were going to kill Donovan Thomas or Shamel Drinks right at that moment. If a killing is done with malice, it is murder, regardless of how briefly the malicious intent existed. So when Diamante Kendrick rode by the barbershop and they saw Donovan Thomas sitting outside with his friends, and I'm going to submit to you, they started calling saying, yo, Donovan's out here. Let's go do this. Or with Chanel drinks, when Shannon and Garlington are sitting in the car and they're backed in and they see Mr. Drinks pull in and they realize, oh snap, that's the dude from the Shell Cal post. And they see him walking up and they decide at that moment they're gonna get him because they're gonna get revenge, they're gonna get back. That's enough right there. Doesn't have to be days planned. Within moments, that is enough. No specific length of time is required for malice to arise in the defendant's mind. It may be formed in a moment, and instantly a fatal wound may be inflicted. If malice was in the defendant's mind at the time of the act of the killing and moves the defendant to do it, that is enough for the killing to be murder. Now, motive. The law says we don't have to prove motive. You want to know why? Because oftentimes I can't get into the mind of why someone wants to murder somebody. But here, and we're going to talk about it, we have some evidence of motive. Any evidence of motive has been admitted for your use in determining the defendant's state of mind at the time of the crime. So you heard Mr. Atkins talk earlier about parties to a crime. I'm not going to go over all the principles again, but he gave you the example of the bank robbery, right? Everyone who is a part of the crime is responsible. So in this case, for Donovan Thomas, Mr. Kendrick, the driver. Mr. Kendrick, the state's belief, the state's theory, is that he alerted them about where Donovan Thomas was because he was the one that was at the Texaco. He's the one that waited 40-something minutes for the Infinity to pull up. He's the one who got out of the Bonneville and went to the Infinity. He's just as guilty as the ones who pulled the trigger, Nard and Mr. Jackson. He's just as responsible. And that's what parties to a crime says. Every person involved in the murder is just as responsible as the person who pulls the trigger because you all act together. Now, we have in Chanel Drinks an individual that you kept hearing about, the Marco Boyer. And someone brought up that the Marco Boyer isn't on the indictment. Well, this is the law that's going to be instructed to you. Any party to a crime who did not directly come (1, 63, and 64). So let's spend some time on the murders. Because because that is what we need to talk about. So for the murders, Mr. Stillwell is charged with count 2 and count 49, which is Donovan Thomas Jr. and Chanel Drinks. And Mr. Kendrick is charged solely with count 2, which is the death of Donovan Thomas Jr. You're going to hear the court read you an instruction about intent. Intent is every essential element of any crime must be proved by the state beyond a reasonable doubt. It may be shown in many ways, provided that you, the jury, believe that it existed from the proven facts before you. It may be inferred from the proven circumstances or by acts and conduct, or it may be in your discretion inferred when it is the natural and necessary consequence of the act. Intent does not mean the intention to violate the law or to violate a criminal statute, but it means simply the intention to commit the act that is prohibited by the statute. So what is it? What are the elements that we have to prove for murder? That Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Kendrick caused the death of another person, here, Donovan Thomas and Chanel Drake. Unlawfully and with malice aforethought. What is malice? It is not necessarily ill will or hatred, rather it is the unlawful intent to kill. You may find malice when the circumstances show that the defendant acted with deliberate intention to unlawfully take the life of another person, or where there does not appear to be significant provocation and all the circumstances show an abandoned and malignant heart. You often hear about premeditation. Some of you like watching these crime shows. The state does not have to prove premeditation to prove murder. So we don't have to sit and say you planned it out and you all mapped it out and that you knew you were going to kill Donovan Thomas or Chanel Drinks right at that moment. If a killing is done with malice, it is murder, regardless of how briefly the malicious intent existed. So when Diamante Kendrick rode by the barbershop and they saw Donovan Thomas sitting outside with his friends, and I'm going to submit to you, they started calling saying, yo, Donovan's out here. Let's go do this. That's enough. Or with Chanel Drinks, when Shannon and Garlington are sitting in the car and they're backed in and they see Mr. Drinks pull in and they realize, oh snap, that's the dude from the Shell Cal post. And they see him walking up and they decide at that moment they're going to get him because they're going to get revenge, they're going to get back. That's enough right there. Doesn't have to be days planned. Within moments, that is enough. No specific length of time is required for malice to arise in the defendant's mind. It may be formed in a moment, and instantly a fatal wound may be inflicted. If malice was in the defendant's mind at the time of the act of the killing and moves the defendant to do it, that is enough for the killing to be murder. Now, motive. The law says we don't have to prove motive. You want to know why? Because oftentimes I can't get into the mind of why someone wants to murder somebody. But here, when we're going to talk about it, we have some evidence of motive. Any evidence of motive has been admitted for your use to determine the defendant's state of mind at the time of the killing. So you heard Mr. Atkins talk earlier about parties to a crime. I'm not going to go over all the principles again, but he gave you the example of the bank robbery, right? Everyone who is a part of the crime is responsible. So in this case, for Donovan Thomas, Mr. Kendrick is right. Mr. Kendrick, the state's belief, the state's theory, is that he alerted them about where Donovan Thomas was because he was the one that was at the Texaco. He's the one that waited 40-something minutes for the Infinity to pull up. He's the one who got out of the Bonneville and went to the Infinity. He's just as guilty as the ones who pulled the trigger, Nard and Mr. Jackson. He's just as responsible. And that's what parties to a crime says. Every person involved in the murder is just as responsible as the person who pulls the trigger because you're all acting together. Now, we have in Chanel Drinks an individual that you kept hearing about, the Marco Boyer. And someone brought up that Marco Boyer isn't on the indictment. Well, this is the law that's going to be instructed to you. Any party to a crime who did not directly commit the crime may be prosecuted for commission of the crime upon proof that the crime was committed and that that person was a party to it, even though the person alleged to have directly committed the crime has not been prosecuted or convicted, has been convicted. November 2015, there was a preliminary hearing. The case was dismissed against Sledge. In 2016, the case was dismissed. It was malice aforethought. What is malice? It is not necessarily ill will or hatred, rather it is the unlawful intent to kill. You may find malice when the circumstances show that the defendant acted with deliberate intention to unlawfully take the life of another person, or where there does not appear to be significant provocation and all the circumstances show an abandoned and malignant heart. You often hear about premeditation. Some of you like watching these crime shows. The state does not have to prove premeditation to prove murder. So we don't just sit and say you planned it out and you all mapped it out and that you knew you were going to kill Donovan Thomas or Chanel Drinks right at that moment. If a killing is done with malice, it is murder, regardless of how briefly the malicious intent existed. So when Diamante Kendrick rode by the barbershop and they saw Donovan Thomas sitting outside with his friends, and I'm going to submit to you, they started calling and say, yo, Donovan's out here. Let's go do this. That's enough. Or with Chanel Drinks, when Shannon and Garlington are sitting in the car and they're backed in and they see Mr. Drinks pull in and they realize, oh snap, that's the dude from the Shell Cal post. And they see him walking up and they decide at that moment they're going to get him, but they're going to get revenge, they're going to get back. That's enough right there. Doesn't have to be days planned. Within moments, that is enough. No specific length of time is required for balance to arise in the defendant's mind. It may be formed in a moment, and instantly a fatal wound may be inflicted. If malice is in the defendant's mind at the time of the act of the killing and moves the defendant to do it, that is enough for the killing to be murder. Now, motive. The law says we don't have to prove motive. You want to know why? Because oftentimes I can't get into the mind of why someone wants to murder somebody. But here, when we're going to talk about it, we have some evidence of motive. Any evidence of motive has been admitted for your use to determine the defendant's state of mind at the time of the killing. So you heard Mr. Agnes talk earlier about parties to a crime. I'm not going to go over all the principles again, but he gave you the example of the bank robbery, right? Everyone who is a part of the crime is responsible. So in this case, for Donovan Thomas, Mr. Kendrick, the driver. Mr. Kendrick, the state's belief, the state's theory, is that he alerted them about where Donovan Thomas was because he was the one that was at the Texaco. He's the one that waited 40-something minutes for the Infinity to pull up. He's the one who got out of the Bonneville and went to the Infinity. He's just as guilty as the ones who pulled the trigger, Nard and Mr. Jackson. He's just as responsible. And that's what parties to a crime says. Every person involved in the murder is just as responsible as the person who pulls the trigger because you're all acting together. Now, we have in Chanel Drinks an individual that you kept hearing about, the Marco Boyer. And someone brought up that the Marco Boyer isn't on the indictment. Well, this is the law that's going to be instructed to you. Any party to a crime who did not directly commit the crime may be prosecuted for commission of the crime upon proof that the crime was committed and that person was a party to it, even though the person alleged to have directly committed the crime has not been prosecuted or convicted, has been convicted of a different crime or degree of crime, is not amenable to justice, or has been acquitted. Mr. Boyer's dates for another day. We're not going to talk about Mr. Boyer today. Today, we're going to talk about Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Kendrick. You can look at presence, companionship, and conduct before and after the commission of the alleged offense. And those things may be considered by you in determining whether or not the circumstances, if any, give rise to an inference for the existence of a conspiracy. So what does that mean? You can look at what they did before, what they did during, and what they did after. And for both of those murders, we're going to talk about conduct before, conduct during, and conduct after. So let's talk about Mr. Donovan Thomas Jr. You heard from his mother, you heard from his father. He's from Atlanta, he was kids, he was in a gang, but he had started to kind of try to get into the music business. And he had started doing that by one, he had a relationship with Rich Homie Quan, two, he had just put Lucci on, YSL Lucci. So he was trying to kind of turn that market and do something different. What did you also hear about Donovan Thomas? That on the night that he was gunned down, that he was at the barbershop, getting his haircut, his brother was there, and what were they getting ready to do? Meet with their dad to go watch the football game. I think it was the Ravens and the Patriots, don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I think it was the Ravens and the Patriots. And that's what he was getting ready to do, spend time with his father. you know that he has a biological brother, but he also has a brother, which Kelvin Watts, who's super close to him, that they are brothers, but not biologically, but they share a brother, so they call themselves brothers. He said he was trying to get in the music industry. That's him with Rock and Lucci. That's him with Rich Homie Quan. And so much so that after his death, Lucci had a whole album dedicated to him, Long Live Nut. And we know that Peanuts was his name. Now let's go over some timelines, because I think oftentimes we focus just on the murder, but there's some things that led up to that day that is very important for you to consider as you continue to live. So we know in September 2014, Rich Homie Quan's father's barbershop shooting. Now, Mr. Copeland, don't talk about Mr. Copeland, told you on the stand here that him and Threat were responsible for that. YSL members responsible for shooting up the shop of a YSL gang member, or shoot the father of his gang associate. Then, if you can recall, in all the different interviews, majority of them, Mr. Copeland talked about this shooting at the Lakewood Gambling House. He talked about it in most every interview when he kept on telling them about the history of him and Kelvin. And he talked about the fact that Kelvin had shot up the gambling house and shot up Doug's car. Then he talked about, in multiple interviews, a meeting at Cascade Stadium, in which him and Kel were there. Kel wanted Copeland to call Thug so they can maybe squash whatever issue that they had. And then when Thug, Mr. Williams, got on the phone, he asked Kelvin, "Are you gonna pay for my car window?" Kelvin said no. They got into it, and it kept on going. You heard about the January 6th fight at Club Crucial, in which Copeland was jumped at the club. And then upon leaving the club, there was a fight with Bloody J. That some YSL members jumped on Bloody J. And that Kendrick and Arnold, they were arrested when they left the club. And that's going to be important, because when we talk about phone records, why we don't have some phone records from Mr. Kendrick. Then we had the January 8th shooting at TI's studio, where Rich Homie Quan's purple truck was shot up. There was some alluding to the fact that Copeland did that shooting. I think when Darius Zachary may have said in his interview that Copeland did that shooting. Then there was that blood meeting the night before the murder. Now, I know that Mr. Sharp played for you the clip in which Copeland says that the blood meal was about him, but remember, the blood meal was also about Mr. Williams. And he said that in one of his interviews. That the blood meal just wasn't about him, but it was about him, Copeland, and Mr. Williams. Then on January 10th, you had the death or the murder of Mr. Donovan Thomas at 330 McDaniel Street. Then you have the retaliatory shootings begin immediately. See, the streets knew what it took the state and the government a long time to figure out. They went directly to who they thought killed Donovan Thomas. They immediately started shooting at Jeffrey Williams' family's house and Kenneth Copeland's family's house, because they thought that both of them were in on it. Also, in the late morning hours, early on January 11th, Kenneth Copeland meets with the Atlanta Police Department, and many of the YSL members, they flee to Miami. You have more retaliatory shootings. Then in April, between April and May of 2015, you have incident at Dunbar Center where Copeland is found with that gun. They don't arrest him then. He calls Gaither speaks to him, they let him go. But once they did more investigation, they got the video surveillance from the Dunbar Center. They arrest him on June 10th, and then that's when he does the 9-hour interview that we'll discuss. In August of 2015 was when Darius Zachary's interview. In September of 2015, Shannon becomes the target of 2 shootings, one at the Green Store, the other one with Miss Tierra Jones. In October 2015, arrest warrants are taken out for Garlington, Copeland, Sledge, and Stillwell. In November 2015, there was a preliminary hearing. The case was dismissed against Sledge. In 2016, the case was dismissed against Garlington and Copeland, and Stillwell received a bond. Between 2016 and 2018, there was an additional investigation and follow-up, and the indictment came in 2022. We're going to talk more about these dates, but I want to give everyone a general timeline overview. As Mr. Atkins talked to you about earlier, you determine the credibility of the witnesses. And I can't remember if Mr. Shard or Mr. Watson said it, but they are absolutely right. We don't shoot our witnesses. The witnesses and our victims are chosen by the crimes that are committed. So when you do your gang murder and you brag to your gang member friends that you murdered someone, then the person I have to bring here to tell you what happened is the gang member friend. And the gang member friend isn't going to want to tell you in front of them what they told the police. So that's why I had to fight. Ms. Love got to fight. We got to argue with them back and forth, because now they have to come in here and confront the people that they snitched on in front of them. So, and they know that. They know that none of these witnesses want to come in here and say what they told police. And if they know, you say, I don't know, I mean, he did swore oath in court and said that he told the God's honest truth. He's going to tell God's honest truth in this courtroom. Maybe some of the stuff he told was truthful. Here it is. Like he said, he's doing a little bit of truth sometimes. That's what he said, right? So he did that a little bit, and we'll talk about that in a moment. What's going to be important are prior statements. It is important because you as a juror get to determine the witness credibility, right? And this may be affected by you comparing and contrasting the testimony to statements or testimony of that same witness before trial started. You, the jury, can decide whether there's a reasonable explanation for any inconsistency in a witness's pretrial statements or testimony when compared to that same trial testimony. And we'll actually apply common sense and reason to decide what testimony you believe or do not believe. So let's go through the evolution of Kenneth Rudy Copeland. Let's take some time. Okay?
Oh my God.
This is hours after the murder. His girlfriend's house just got shot up. And
I did these crimes. I did these crimes.
And they put Copeland on the phone.
Oh, it's Wu T.
On January
That was
11th,
Wu D. Like a wood.
He not trying to give up his friend. He
What
wanted
do you
to
know?
I didn't murder. Let me tell you something. I didn't murder John this time. I'm telling you, at a girlfriend house. I'm telling you, I went to the green stove. I went to McDonald's. He's not gonna give you too much information here. He's trying to still protect his friend. That's just common sense. The police don't really know what's going on yet. So when he first goes in, he's trying to protect his friends. But then we get January 28th. See, if y'all remember, y'all, this is after he gets out the shootout on the highway. This is after he came from the little pool party.
Yeah, mind you, he's the guy driving the Infinity.
At the highway. And remember in this interview, he talks about, I believe, Shannon being upset with him.
Yeah.
So here, he's trying to tell them everything that YSL people are doing to him, but he's still not trying to give up his friends. They're his friends. But he's a little frustrated because everyone's blaming him for murdering Donovan Thomas, and everyone's shooting back at him.
He sure did give him up. So his ass didn't get hooked.
Now this was the worst one because that's when he's trying to come out the house and take his baby to the hospital, and they come down the street shooting at him. So now he's like, they are shooting at me, they're shooting at my baby and my girl. Look, this is too much. And he tells them about what happened.
After he done shot at people.
He really didn't want to give up who shot him. He knew who did it. But see, that gang street code is he still didn't want to give up the person who shot him.
Oh my God.
And that's when Herman was like, you're not going to tell me who just shot at you, your baby. Then the next day was February 21st. They had arrested him for a violation of probation. He was upset because they arrested him on a violation of probation. And Gaither talked to him one shit that had happened the day before.
Yeah.
And trying to get more information about the murder, trying to figure out what's going on with this. Because by this time, they still didn't try to go through that whole litany of Operation Plan of Shooting. But you heard evidence of all those shootings that were happening back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And they're trying to get a grasp of what is happening. And then we get to the 9-hour interview. So what happened between February and June? A lot. We got some back and forth shootings. Remember, Mr. Copeland went to jail for that violation of probation. He came out. He went to Henry County for a little while. And then on June 10th, he gets arrested for the gun that he had at the Dunbar Center back in May. And what's going on here? Mr. Copeland is tired. He been getting shot at. His family been getting shot at. Homes getting shot up. Remember Kenneth First or Kenny Booth's house? His sister-in-law, his sister's child's father's home has been broken up, getting shot at. And Shannon and Mr. Williams not talking to him. Remember Shannon, and he thought Mr. Williams was trying to kill him. That's everything he talked about in his 9-hour interview. And let me say this, if some of y'all want to watch all the interviews again, y'all can. Just gotta let me know. I don't want to sit there watching 9 hours interview again, but if you want to, you can.
They ain't gonna watch that. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. I bet they ain't gone 5 hours.
They are self-preservation.
They'll have a verdict within 5 to 6 hours.
But it's telling on them, they're gonna get me out of jail. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Because I don't want to go to jail. He's absolutely right. He did not want to go to jail.
Hey, he's a criminal. They all talk. They make stuff up all the time.
But not how. He minimized his involvement in some things, but he told everything that they did. And if you don't believe what he told the police, well, let's listen to what he told his girlfriend on the jail call.
Oh, here we go.
Right. Yeah. So,
Damn, that's loud.
okay. Yeah. This are the way we would. Come on, right? Yeah. Trade no ego coming.
So that call to his girlfriend, to the lady his wife at the time, he told them, I need you to come in so they can know what I told them is true. They had to verify what I said to them. So when he came and said, I would finesse the police, I would lie to them. No, because you wanted them to verify what you told them. And we're going to talk about how the police and Mike Frankel was able to verify what he told them. Listen to this June 16th, 2015 call.
These are the same people trying to get President Trump on a RICO charge. You think this is bad? Wait till they drag that dumpster fire down the street. That's going to be funny. I can't get the audio up any. So if you can't hear it, I'm sorry. I can't either. Poor old Max. Wake up, Doug. Wake up, Max.
They knew that it was Yak, Dua, Shannon.
Wake your ass up.
And Kendrick is, I mean, Coleman is a second, why you put my name in the song? Put the ones who did it in the song. So they can stop targeting me.
Because he knows he's recorded.
Now, let's talk about his trial. I actually love that. And there is an artist, Young Juice, and he has a song called Put On. And I'm telling you what Copeland and Zachary did.
Look at Woody.
What they put on for YSL.
Man, there it is right there. That's funny.
Types of foolishness. And that's because they wanted to show.
Huh?
Look,
What?
Y'all back in
Man, I don't recall.
Y'all out best I can. And that's what they did this entire time. They friends. They've been friends for a long time. They wear the same clothes. They lay together. What makes you think that Demikion, when he got to that car, McDonald said, yo, let me tell y'all what they just did. Let me tell you what our homie, our boy for the last couple of years just did. They just killed Nut. Because he wasn't around. He was sleeping at his girlfriend's house. So he missed the action. So you don't think with Demikion get in the car, he's not going to say, yo, let me tell you what Sharon just did, though. They friends. And they want you to believe that Demikion did not tell Copeland what happened moments after it happened. That don't even make sense. And we want to use your common sense. This is them. And these were all taken in 2015, so some of these are older pictures. They look super young. This is how long they've been friends. Now, it was interesting when Mr. Shard asked, why are we showing you this video from 2009? Let me tell you why. Because Quindere's been around for a long time. Quindere's been around since 2009. So Quindarius knows about what's happening. See, we just bring you stuff. I know some days you're like, why would they bring me a video from 2009 in the park? It's to show the evolution of their relationships. Quindarius is a little bit different than Copeland. Because he's been around Mr. Williams much longer than Copeland's ever been in the picture. See, Mr. Copeland started coming around in 2014. Mrs. Zachary's loyalty is a little bit different. He's been around since 09. So when Zachary tells you in his interview, they know nothing about that murder. Yes, he did. But his loyalty is a little different because he's been around. 2012. That's Mr. Zachary. You want to know why we showed you the video of them outside in the apartment complex? To show their association. Again, Zachary been around again for a long time. He real good at it. He rocked for YSL. So he had a motive to lie for Jeffrey Williams that Kenneth doesn't have as much of. In his interview. See, when Quindarius interviewed, he asked to come speak to the police. And you're going to watch his interview because what both of them do in their interviews, both Copeland and Quindarius, and this is how you know they were telling the truth, they would correct the officers. If the officer repeated something that was wrong, they would say, no, I didn't say it like that. I said it like this. That's what they would do. That's how you know that what they were trying to tell them, they were trying to be as truthful as they could so that they would get it right. They mean the police would get it right. And again, same thing. He come in here talking about he want to take one of the investigators out, all types of nonsense. But again, putting on for YSL. And again, he's been around. They friends. They friends. And why would they lie on their friends? If they knew to make up stuff and make up lies, why would you lie and say your friends committed a murder? That doesn't make sense. Why lie? You could just say anybody committed the murder. If you just lying, you don't want anybody to verify what you were saying, you could have said anybody committed the murder. But that's not what they did. So there were a lot of different witnesses that came in about Donovan Thompson murder. We're going to talk specifically about these individuals. Investigator Thorpe, he was the original detective on the case. He took out those arrest warrants in October, and that was after talking to an individual by the name of Spencer Wright. He then turned his file over to Mike Sprinkle. Then we have both Dennis and Gaither. They were both just because of the back and forth that they were investigating, just ended up talking a lot about the murder with all these different individuals. And then you have Kenneth Copeland and Quindarius Baker. And then what did Mike Sprinkle tell you? When he got the file, he reviewed it, and the first thing he did was realize that Spencer Wright was lying, and said, "Okay, I have to get rid of this information." And it was something that Mr. Shar said, which I found interesting. Mr. Shar said that Nicholas Robinson, aka Spencer Wright, is an example of individuals who say anything just to get out of jail. But the difference between Nicholas Robinson and Quindarius and Kenneth Copeland is that Mr. Sprinkle couldn't verify what Nicholas Robinson said, but he was able to verify what Quindarius said.
All right.
So did Mike Sprinkle corroborate Kenneth Copeland and Quindarius said? Emphatically, yes. So let's talk about activity before the murder. And some of these are the videos, but there was no dispute about the Lakewood shooting and Cubs shooting. And what you had in those interviews is that both Copeland and Jackson
Lakewood
sat and talked about those. I'm not gonna play the video for you, just in an abundance of time, but we know that those two things at least were not.
That's where the beginning of Smoking the Bandit was
So
filmed.
let's talk about the day of the day.
Lakewood Amphitheater area.
So what did
Used to be the State Fair playgrounds, or yeah, the State Fairgrounds, what it was.
What did the phone record tell you? I know that's kind of small, but you'll have the phone record in the back. That between 6:37 and 7:26, Copeland's phone was in the area of his girlfriend's house, right? That's QR, Copeland's girlfriend's house. His phone was pinging in that area, and that's between 6:37 and 7:26. If you recall, the 911 call for the murder came in at 7:22. At 7:26, he is still at his girlfriend's house after the murder. So this notion, when they say, well, Kenneth Copeland did it, I know somebody who could have done it, well, it wasn't Kenneth Copeland. The person who did it is still Jack, Nora, and Dwight. Because Kenneth Copeland had his girlfriend's house at 7:26. Then he says he went to the green store. What did the phone record tell you? He went to the green store. He's at the green store at 7:28. Which is 7:28. He's at the green store. And then he traveled down towards McDonald's, like he told me. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, about corroboration of phone records. He doesn't know he's gonna pull the phone record later. He doesn't know that Mike Sprinkle in 2016, like almost 8 months after this, was gonna pull the phone record to see
Mr. Sprinkles.
I know he came in here sometimes. I got 2 phones, I had 2 phones, all this other stuff. He didn't have 2 phones. If he had 2 phones, the main phone is the phone that he's calling his girlfriend on. You can look at the records will show who he's talking to. He's talking to his brother and his girlfriend on the phone he's talking about. Cooperation, I'm not gonna play it, but he says you just heard him say he goes to McDonald's. So we talked about that white nitro. That is from the Dexter Montgomery shooting. What is that? That's the white nitro that Nard and DK came in from OG Bentley's house. So is it ironic that, oh my goodness, OG Bentley has a white dye nitro, That small fact is corroborated. He talks about getting a call from Antonio Sledge.
Ain't Sledge the one y'all rolled and destroyed and sent to prison for 30 damn years?
He told you that he FaceTimed with Antonio Sledge. We know that FaceTime don't come on records, on phone records, but that entire night, him, Antonio Sledge, and Zach
Damn,
are in
people.
communication. What you will see is none of those three people rarely talk to another group of individuals that we'll talk about next. So again, things are corroborated that Copeland is saying.
This is.
Here he's going to talk about that everybody went to Jeffrey Williams' condo.
His condo was the center of the Godfather's powers. I would go there, and young Thug would talk to us and tell us what to do. And his son Michael and Fredo are.
So here you'll have these phone records in the back. This shows phone activity near Mr. Williams' condo between that time of 7:31 and 11:22. Again, he talks about the condo. And remember in this call, in this interview, he first talked to Gaither and the ATF agent. Then later, Thorpe came in. He kind of repeats what happened, right? And that's what is going on. But again, consistently talking about being around the condo. They both talk about going to Miami after the murder.
In the hell has he got wrapped around him?
So that's them both talking about them going in to Miami. Now, in court, that's probably one of the things that they talked about. They all went to Miami. But they all said they went for this concert in Miami. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we showed you all the flyers, and there's no flyer in Miami for January 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. The only flyer in Miami or in Florida was the Tampa Bay. So the question becomes, why are y'all going to Florida right after Dr. Thomas' murder?
Because they felt like it?
Because YSL knew what they did, and they had to get up out of Dodge. And they went down to Birdman's house to lay low until things maybe some of the dust started to settle. And we had a phone record to show you all that they all went to Miami, all the different phone records in Miami after the murder, and the time that they all went after the murder. Now, we talked about the Grand Infinity. They both discussed, well, Copeland said it was Thug that ran the Grand Infinity. Zachary, I told you the loyalty is a little bit different. He didn't want to say Thug ran the Grand Infinity. He talked about it was me. But we both know that this Grand Infinity was rented. And I won't play the video for you, but there are the two clips. If you want to play later, you can play. And how was that corroborated? Mr. Sprinkle went down the Hearst rental car record in order to corroborate is what.
Am I the only one that thinks that guy's name is? Am I the only one that thinks that guy's name is funny?
That is corroboration of what.
I mean, it can't be a real name. I can't even imagine his wife. I mean, oh, Mr. Sprinkles. Oh, I love you. Mr. Sprinkles. You can't take that shit serious. It's. Oh.
He literally took everything that
Mr. Sprinkles.
And that's what he did. Now let's talk about who they both said. Now remember, Copeland is in June, Zachary is in August.
So who's in the car? This was this driver out here. This was the grocery store down here. I think you said all of you challenge. And they both had the same message, stand out there. They went to a chain up. Now they really was. I dropped Trinity out the door. I went home. I didn't know. And then Doug left and we home and nothing seen him. And went to the gas station seen yet. And he pumped. The gas station, we were gas station. This is also. But this thing, we called the gas station. Doug got in the car with her. Doug got that they got caught with her. And then 2 hours.
Right? That's Copeland in June. Here's that August.
This is all what Shannon's telling me. No, this both. Shannon had told, but this Shannon told me. Shannon told me first. So Shannon, they both told me the same story. Where were you guys when Shannon telling you this and what day was it? Same day or day after? Same like Shannon. I walked into it. I just walked in, so they pulled up into the house. And Shannon go with her out. And all the boys were going like, he got me nothing good. They see no something. Right. I'm saying, hang on. They see no something good. So like, I don't put it. You know, Shannon. And Shannon does home. He knows that. Right. He knows that. Now, he would say, I feel they did it. So I know some talk. That's what I heard. And then don't Shannon tell me story. Say they wanted to push, but they both of the same look. They had to roll back around. And then, so you know, show that to
He said it was Jack, Nard, and Duwop. This is 2 different interviews. Copeland is telling them what Nikai told him, and Zach is telling the police what Stillwell and Jack told him. But how are we have the same people? Jack, Nard, Duwop, Stillwell. That is not true.
2 guys for all this organization.
2 different times. Saying the same people?
Why didn't they just prosecute this as a gang case? Why Rico?
And remember what Copeland said, which I'm not interested in.
This don't make no sense.
I don't know the gas station.
This could have been done so much
That
easier
Jack was at the gas
as a
station,
gang
and they
case.
circled the block and pulled up and saw Donovan outside. If they didn't tell him that, he didn't even know what gas station they were at. But what did Mike Sprinkle do? He said, well, let me go pull the gas station footage and see if I can corroborate.
Because they ain't got no investigator?
And that's exactly what he did.
Why is Sprinkles the cat going around getting investigator jobs? Why is he doing with their job?
The Bonneville. And in that same interview, they asked him, well, what kind of car was he in initially? She tells them it was a Bonneville.
And this guy's everywhere.
How would he know? He doesn't know that we're going to find a surveillance video. But they want you to believe him just lying?
This is not normal. Lawyers, DAs, ADAs do not go around doing investigatory work. Then they have a DA's investigator. They're police officers mandated by the state of Georgia, does this job. Why in the hell they aren't doing it is beyond me. I can't figure it out. I don't know. You couldn't get me to do what he was doing. That's just stupid.
For what?
Who the hell is she yelling
He
at?
had that go inside the gas station. That's him in the gas station. They sit at Texaco from 6:44 to 7:15. They wait for the girlfriend to come, and when the girlfriend comes, that's not the same time that the Infinity pulls up. What you waiting
With
for?
Woody.
At the gas station for? Who waits at the gas station that long?
I don't know.
Bougie at that gas station?
Might have been on the phone. Could have been on the toilet. I don't know.
Don't hang around out there. They get the gas, they get on.
Might have had explosive diarrhea. Who knows?
So why are you sitting there for, I don't know, man, what was it, almost 40 minutes?
Cleveland Avenue. Is she trying to make it sound like it's a bad area?
That's when the Infinity pulls up.
Well,
And
I mean,
when
it
they go,
is. But,
Jack walks over to the car. Now, I know Mr. Shar said, well, my client ain't on the video. Well, we just can't see him on the video. I submit he in the car.
okay. Is he in the car?
They both leave.
You've still never showed us.
And they both come right on one side of the
Oh, my God.
car. Now, this video, we'll speed it up. And in fact, from the still shots,
Then hope you don't see that it's not got the guy's face on it.
I wish I can't pause it. Right. You see where they came off? They came down and then. Well, what's right about here? It's the barbershop.
Oh, my God.
A block away. Literally, when you go out here and look up the street, you see the barbershop. It's not a block away. It's yards away. So they have a vantage.
Love sitting there nodding her head. You tell him, girl. You tell him.
That alerts them. Kendrick. If Kendrick didn't tell them that he saw Donovan, maybe we wouldn't be here today on a murder charge. He did it. He's the one who alerted them.
Is the jury in
That's why he's just as
trouble?
guilty as the one who.
Why is she yelling at them? Good God.
This is the one where we spent.
And look at Love smiling. Oh, you can see that little witch smile. Oh, yeah, you go, girl.
That's Dubai getting out the car, smoking a cigarette.
I'm surprised you didn't charge him for smoking a cigarette around gasoline.
Now I'm still outside. So you see how much
Man,
they have.
come. These people are.
And he just wait. That's when Willie Bougie pulls up in that car. And that's Kendrick. Initially, he was on the passenger side. And then that's the driver. That's I submit to you all. That's Bradford. He gets out the car. Then you see Mr. Kendrick kind of waves to the infinity. Then he walks over to the infinity. I submit that's when they're gonna talk about what they're gonna do, how they got to kill Diamond, what they're gonna roll around, what car, what guns in the car, how they gonna do it, who gonna do what. He now gets back in the driver's seat. And we talk about where did they switch cars? I submit to you behind the gas station. They both made it right in a moment. I'm going to show you what's right behind the gas station where they could have easily switched cars. And remember, we talked about the time, so it's not 8:08. Remember, this time is off by a few moments. And that's them coming down the street in the infinity, shooting. Of course, you're going to see, I'm going to play this all this reaction, what happens in the store. You got babies. Bullets have no names. And they have audacity to tell you that we're sitting here trying to charge people of color? No. You should not have to sit there on a Saturday trying to get your hair cut and have bullets come inside of a barbershop. Bullets have no names. And there was babies in the front. But you was spraying down the street for what? For your status in YSL? So you can show Mr. Williams that you big and mad? That's what this is about. And that's Donovan's brother. Outside. I submit he saw what happened, but you know what? He ain't gonna tell us. He ain't gonna talk to the police. And that's what he culture. So this is the Texaco. That's Northside Drive. And here are two streets. This one's a one-way street, but they don't follow the law, so I submit that they went up the one-way street. And it's another street. They don't went up either. I submit they went up the one-way street because they don't follow the law. So when they turn right, they switch cars behind here. They switch behind here. It takes no time to drive up the wrong way street, drive back there, and come back down to their street. That's where they switch the cars at.
Prove it.
They both. And this is where he talks about it. I'm not gonna play it for you, but that's what he said. And let me tell you something. This is how you know they switch cars.
Why wasn't this done on direct?
This is worth Bradford phone records. After the murder, this is him.
She still hasn't really rebutted anything that they brought up in their closing.
Right? Between there's a gap in time between 7:19 and 7:24. At 7:24, between 8:08, this is where Bradford's home is, right? From 7:31 all the way to 8:08. What's over here?
And
Oak Drive. OG Bentley House. Where they said they got rid of guns. Let me tell you what he's doing. He waiting for them to come back. You want to know how we know that Gap isn't in the car with him anymore? This call right here.
Security, you may start the conversation now.
So, with that, I think I was sitting there like this. Now, we're going to get there. Y'all good? Yeah.
Hey, Goldie Mom,
What is it? What's up, shortstop?
what are you doing?
What's going on? Yeah. Where you at?
You hear what he said? Where that guy at? We waiting for him to pull up. That's at 7:42.
okay.
That's when, let's go back, y'all. That's when he waiting down here. At 7:42, which is one of the calls that's right here, Yak ain't with him. You want to know why? Because Yak with the other three murderers. That's where Yak at. What evidence do we have? No, we don't have DNA. You want to know why? They got rid of the car. No, we don't have DNA. You want to know why? Because they got rid of the guns. All we have is what they told their co-conspirators. And that's what I had to bring to you. What I have are phone records. What I have are the surveillance videos.
That are criminals that lied to get themselves out of trouble.
Because I don't have those things. I wish I had them.
Oh my God. You have no physical evidence.
That's Jack the night of.
None.
What'd he say? Maniac's back. That's what he said, right? Y'all know me in my Santana voice. You right. The maniac's back. He just drove the car that took somebody's life. For no reason. For no reason. That's just to show you, that's Javors Bradford in that Pontiac. That's on that surveillance video. This is when they talk about the guns used to commit the murder.
So back to nothing. Make sure everything right. The media pretty much showed you Tim, Shannon, Nard, Baby. Now, the media, and the girl, go to the mother went to Baby house. You did. And when they got them doing it, they supposed to go to the mother's house. But I think the girl is bullshit. You know, the girl is supposed to be seeing it. She knows what's up. This girl Shannon started teaching. Well, they can't try to do it while they up. This girl I thought told them that I was okay with her. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Right. But you still know what? See, how you got to car, how you go to the you got okay, so I need you on that. Yeah, okay.
We gonna lie. Why not say Doo-Wop had a gun? Let's lie. Like, we gonna lie big. Everybody had a gun. But he didn't do that. He said, nah, I don't think Doo-Wop had a gun. I don't think so, but I definitely know Yak was driving, because if we gonna lie, say Yak had a gun too. But he didn't do that. What are the shell casings? How you know it was a 7.62? That's what Donovan was killed with. Those are the bullets that came out of Mr. Thomas. The shell casings that was found, there was multiple types of shell casings, 45, 9s, and 7.62s. How they know that? This is called corroboration. This is called verification. They don't know they don't know what bullet was pulled out of Donovan Thomas's body at the autopsy. They don't know what shell casing the police picked up off the ground. But ironically, they know, not ironic, they know the type of gun that they use.
Y'all put up on police, and the deal right now, they got somebody, they talk about it. So they got guns, they two guns, a chopper and a handgun. They got guns to put in the car, and they just been going out the car. So when did they do a few things? Yeah, he was driving a light truck. He wanted to the channel. I did it. You know, they come in, they back to shoot. They don't think they're going to get police out. But then they started on police. Right. So I guess they were throwing straight bench back. And when we throw the bench back, they threw it on through it. And we got bench back, white cut down. And then he said, I don't know who went. They let me come, if you went in, there was somebody, I mean, he got a cut, you never cut. You know what I'm saying? And he never cut guns. You know what kind of car it was? Like, it was a Genesis. Yeah.
Yeah, the same one you wrecked.
You know, was it somebody's racial car? Was it really his rental car? Well, this is really close from yeah.
When he finished, he's at the airport.
What are you doing now? I don't get this one. They come to I mean, they the guns are called OG Benson. I bet you capture them. They gave him the guns and car. What do you do with it? He needs a gun and they go to run for it. You know what he's done? I don't need guns. I know they just shot him. You know where it is? It's not. They don't let it come open.
That's how the address I showed y'all, right? It's on Oak Drive. That's Bentley spot. And isn't it ironic that that's where the guns was kept in April when Dexter Montgomery, when they went and shot at Dexter Montgomery, they got all the guns from Bentley spot. Bentley keep the guns. That's what happened here. When we talk about interrelatedness, this is the interrelatedness that we are talking about. The same location, you drop one gun off, you pick one gun up. That's what happened. That's what Walter Murphy, I'm not gonna play the clip, but that's what Walter Murphy told you back when he was interviewed in July about OG Bentley spot. You think that that's ironic that both Copeland and Zachary talk about the guns going? Oh, and the phone records corroborate that all the phones was at Bentley house right after the murder? All of those things are corroboration. That's evidence.
Wait in the court. Okay, go ahead.
And I know this is kind of faint, but I'm going to tell you what he said in this call. Let me give you a little background about this call. This is November 19, 2015. This is after his preliminary hearing. Y'all heard about the preliminary hearing, right? And you heard them talk about the fact that a couple things, that they didn't talk about witnesses by name. They said about witness number 1 and witness number 2. This is what he says. Fuck D. Fuck them niggas, bro. All that fake friend shit. Fuck nigga. He know what's going on. Pussy ass nigga. That's what he said. Fuck niggas are rats. He ain't say he lied on me. He said he a rat. I just went to court and they let everything out. That fuck nigga a rat. Him, Woody, and the other little D. Bitch, you in love with a rat hoe. That's anger. Why? Because you just heard that your friends, because you didn't really know it was them, but it said witness 1 and witness 2, you were able to infer that your friends told the police about what you did the night of Diamond Thomas's murder. These are his words. He didn't say, them dudes, I went to my prelim and they lied on me. He didn't say, oh man, I don't know where they got this information from. He said they a rat. Because what do rats do? They tell. And he was angry that his voice would tell what he did. Let's talk about their songs.
Can't hear that. It's their stupid music again. That's some horrible music.
That between 2016 and 2019, there were no courts involved. From 2019 to 22, there was no indictment, nothing happening in the case. So in 2019, which is 4 years after the murder, he knows that Sledge has been dismissed, Copeland has been dismissed, and Garlington has been dismissed. His case is the only one that ain't been dismissed. In 4 years, you haven't heard about an indictment. You think you beat a murder rap. This isn't, oh, he was on this and that. He thought he beat a murder rap because you're not indicted until almost 7 years later. So you think you got away with it. I keep a stick, ain't avoiding no smoke, a chopper. I just be a murder rat, pay my lawyer 30 for that. Me and my slimes above the law. I know it's mumble, but they said we don't work in court at all. And I wipe your nose, send your family's face, and just smile it off. Some of these things he repeats in multiple songs.
I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh. Gummit. God, they ought to have a music warning. They're going to get my damn thing taken down.
When we found it in 2022, but remember we said that they may have been created maybe 2020, sometime between 2020 and 2022, right?
So they don't even know when
At
the music was
point,
made.
they're real brazen because they don't think they're going to get held accountable for the murder. So they start saying stuff in their songs like, I just beat a homicide. Ha, 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 walk it off. I just left that boy on the curb. Well, where was Donovan Thomas found, y'all? On the curb. I'm a big lizard, big slime, big shots, riding down your block, hanging out the top.
That's really pushing
it. Shoot, didn't Reginald Hendricks say that somebody was shooting out of the top of the infinity? See, now you start bragging on it because you think you beat it. So now you like
yeah, come. Could she be less angry?
Well, we call it dry snitching.
Yeah.
You telling on yourself.
And
because you don't think that the police are going to find your phone. That's why you
y'all.
But luckily,
y'all, if you ever become a prosecutor, y'all, if you become a lawyer and you're doing closings, I don't care, opening or closing, even witnesses, don't act like this. This isn't endearing to a jury. They've been there 12 freaking hours and they're listening to that. They've already had to put up with it for 360 some odd days. This is, man, don't do it. Just don't do it, guys. Just don't.
And found that phone.
Be like Ronnie Reagan and just say no. Oh, man.
Because you didn't think we were going to find it. This is called confession. This ain't rap. This is a confession over a beat.
All right, it's getting old with the damn music. Come on. Good God Almighty.
Walk him down from a mile. The last homicide, I smiled. How many times you gonna keep talking about the fact that you killed this man and you bragging about it?
Maybe they're talking about someone
This is
else.
episode number 3. And then
I mean,
can
it
send the
could
whole
be.
gang to the heavenly
I don't know.
You good with killing folks?
You got to prove it.
That's why you didn't kill Donovan. You didn't kill Shamel.
God,
I ain't gonna play the song. Let's talk about the words.
please,
Dinosaur,
thank
and I'm
you.
watching my eyes.
Thank you.
Let that bitch rain out the top of
Damn.
the block. Here we go again. Lizard walk your block. Let that glizzy rock. Oh, glizzy ain't got a Glock. Dang, one Shamel killed with a Glock.
I don't know. Is a glizzy a rock?
Well,
Is a glizzy a Glock?
And I found it interesting because we're gonna get the Shamel soon. We about to get the Shamel.
What is a glizzy? I don't know what a glizzy is. You didn't tell us in the
He said the Shamel
trial.
wasn't linked to the 40.
No one
But he
freaking
linked to having guns
testified
thrown
what a
away. That's what he
glizzy
did in
is.
2015.
Let that
He
glizzy
linked to the
rock.
gun that
I
was
don't know what it
an hour
is.
before he killed Shamel, sitting on the table.
Yup. Anyway,
We ain't gonna play this one either. But let's talk about what he's saying this.
she has not said what in the hell a glizzy is, and yet she's trying to equate it to being a Glock. I mean,
What do you think, y'all? No evidence.
this is insane.
He don't realize that what his two co-conspirators said is evidence. Those interviews are evidence. His confession over a beat is evidence. This is evidence, ladies and gentlemen.
It's
And this
really
evidence you
shitty
take
evidence.
to deliberate and find him guilty. The surveillance video is evidence.
You will take it and you will find him guilty.
Friends telling y'all what he did. And they don't have no reason to lie on him. For what?
She reminds me of on Beavis and Butthead, the PE teacher is the Marine. I will kill you. I will physically kill you. She might as well be doing it. You will convict him. You will freaking convict him. God, more damn music. I don't even know what I'm watching. This is stupid. Oh my God, is anything done without auto tune? God, man, this is misery to listen to. I don't think they can make music today without auto tune. Like, it's just impossible, apparently.
Donovan Thomas was the big homie. There was no need for that ad lib at the end of the song. But again, in 2020, they brazen. They have the audacity to think that they can just brag about killing somebody and no one's going to hold them accountable. That's what they're doing in 2020.
Y'all look at Love's face. Watch her. Watch Love. God, is this all they're going to do is play music? Oh my God. I might as well just stop it. This is insane. I can't keep hitting the mute button this many times. This is stupid. Their whole case is music. 100 rounds in a Tahoe. You're getting somewhere. That's getting a little bit, I don't know. It was more, that was how many times they shot that Tahoe, but I know they shot the hell out of it. But let's see if I can get it off of mute. Thank you.
Drove a Tahoe. And how ironic is it that he got rounds of bullets in his Tahoe and on the street?
What?
So
Anybody can tell me what that is? Please put it in the chat. They don't look human.
Isn't bragging.
Chewbacca looks better than whatever that is.
And we talk about judging, like I say, subliminal messaging. But the subliminal is you, as the consumer, don't know what he's talking about. But his family, who knows that Donovan drives a Tahoe, know exactly what he's talking about. Everyone in the gang knows exactly what they're talking about, because that's what he's talking to. But because the masses bop to the song,
they're all gang members. All of them. Yet they still haven't done any gang charges. They haven't yet to talk about it. I can't even remember if they were indicted for gang charges. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's like two gay dudes getting it on.
Everyone else, yeah, we did that. What's at the end? He got a rat going down his mouth because they eat rats. They eat the people who snitch on them. He already told you himself, you ought to get killed from me and YSL if you snitch. See, that video is not just a nice artistic video.
Then
They
why
got
didn't you
symbolism.
go after him instead of taking a plea?
So now they're guilty of all those. Let's talk about Chanel.
Because you
Chanel.
done effed up a
Young
one.
man probably started associating with people from YFN. But on the day that he was getting about to
This
get killed, he
case
was
is
about to go back to his
going
girlfriend's house where he was sleeping.
south.
That's what he's doing at the moment.
Quick.
Get ready to go back. You see him go inside the gas station. He's not worried about a thing. He doesn't know that seconds later he's going to lose his life. So the timeline here, this is, and I'll tell you here, this is a direct result of retaliation from stabbing of Lucci. So what do we have?
You
February
should have done this
9th,
at the
Rayshon Bennett was
beginning.
stabbed in the Fulton County Jail by Jada Myrick. February 22nd, Eppinger calls Antonio Sumlin to see if he could get paid for finishing what Myrick didn't do. Then you heard about that emergency bond paperwork that was filled out on March 3rd. Then sometime around early March, the media hears about the YFN Lucci stabbing. It gets picked up on media. On March 11th at 3 a.m., two YSL associates, Christian McMillan and Darius Ford, are murdered on I-75 and I-85. That same night, there's a shooting at 12 Atlanta where a YFN associate gets shot in the head. On March 12th, there's a shootout on Cleveland Avenue with Demikion Garlington and the ops. On March 12th, there's a 911 call shooting at 2830 Waters Road. March 14th, Shayna Stillwell rents the Audi A5 and puts dark tints on all the windows. March 14th, 10 o'clock is the murder of Chanel Drakes. On March 16th, the shooting at Waters Road where investigator Rita comes out. March 17th, there's a search of Waters Road where everything is taken out except for a few guns that they left behind. And then Stillwell and Nichols are arrested. Again, we talk about the state does not have the true motive, but here, ladies and gentlemen,
They don't talk about it. Because
again,
you're
that's the same
messing
thing with
up.
Quindarius, y'all. Christian McMillan has been around since 2009. This is Mr. Williams' long friend, old friend, good friend. And he gets murdered by YFN associates. Oh, you got to pay for that. Here we have just different pictures of them, both Mr. Ford and Mr. McMillan, all with other YSL associates. You'll have these in evidence, ladies and gentlemen. That's unfortunately the car that they were driving in when they were tragically gunned down on March.
Man, that car is awesome. Stinger. Oh
So
my
here's
God,
the
that car is
motive, y'all.
awesome.
Just like YSL,
Man, I wish I could afford one.
YFN does the same thing.
Mm.
It's tragic. These posts were despicable.
Man.
That post crossing out that young girl daddy and saying that, despicable. But that's the type
Yeah.
of stuff that games do, right? To keep nudging each other. Well, that would make you mad. You see how heartbroken YSL was for the death of Mr. McMillan and Mr. Ford. They were devastated. These are all different YSL members posting them because they were devastated. And that's where revenge kicks in. That is Mrs. Stillwell's post. I ain't gonna be the only one crying. Nope, you're right. The Drinks family crying. Because he had to make sure. And what does he say here? Just ref Mac, I got you, man. Crying emoji, broken heart, taped up heart, devil emoji. He was ready to go out hunting. I know that was in January, but that just goes to show you he already knew how to be on the prowl. He already knew how to go out hunting. And this is what Demikion say on the wiretap on about March 11th and March 12th. March 12th.
I ain't talking about the AP. Oh, AP. Yeah, no, he don't know. Yeah.
You know what he on. He on looking for them folks who killed our boys. That's what he on.
Look like something. They said we went and looked for them. Okay. What's that about? Yeah, I know. Well,
Forgive me, I've got a cold. I'm nursing, so I keep messing up muting stuff so you can hear me. Damn it. Did it again. Sorry. I'm nursing a cold. So when you see me move off the screen and stuff or trying to mute it, it's because I got to blow my nose. I apologize.
We on the prowl. We looking. We went because we need to go find them folks who killed our boys. So we out hunting. Let's go rent this car. Now, you know, this notion that they rented the car because Taisha got into the gunfight. Well, she got into the gunfight on March 9th. So she got into the gunfight on March 9th. Why y'all just rent the car on March 9th? They rent the car on March 14th. Oh, here we go. And what do? Immediately go to the tent place to go get the rental car tinted. Well, why do you do that when you're out hunting? Because the ops don't know what kind of car you in. So you can disguise yourself in this Audi because they don't know you in it. So they're not suspecting you. That's not the car that they're used to. So when you go out hunting, you got to switch the car out because they're not expecting to find you in the car. And then you get tints, but not just regular tints, y'all, like dark black tints. Like you can't see nothing. Some may say those are not the tints you're ever allowed to have on your car. Why? Because you out hunting. What do we know about Shell Kell and Demikion Barnes on social media? What does investigative Rito tell you? That because she was following both pages, she could see who followed who, and Demikion followed Kelvin Wise. So what post do we see? This post was posted, I believe, on March 13th. And it's a picture of Mr. Drinks, Jasper Walters, and Kelvin Wise. And Shell Kell reposted it with the two shells, the zipper lip, and the black heart. And I guess for Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Gardner, must be a confession. Because
Damn,
this is the post.
this is taking
that got Mr. Drinks
forever.
Because remember, no one knew who Mr. Drinks was. The investigators didn't know. When you listen to some of the wiretaps y'all listen to, they didn't know. So this post is a post that gets him killed. Not any verification, not that you should have been killing anybody anyway, but no verification whether or not they actually did or anything. But because Shell Kell posted two shells, a zip lip, and a black heart, that was Mr. Drinks' death sentence. I hunted. The reason why we took this picture, y'all, is if you remember from the video, and we're going to look at the video in a moment, Shannon was parked about right here in the alley. And we know that because you see him when he comes in. If you watch the videos, you see when he comes in. Remember that Mr. Drinks pulled up to this pump. No, this pump. They had the best vantage point to see when Mr. Drinks came in, when he walked into the store, when he walked back out the store, and when he pulled off. They were scoping it out, verifying. I said, "They in the car. Is that him? Oh, yo, I think he do got the same sneakers on. I think that's him, y'all. Scoping it out. Sit back, watching it. Let's watch the video." Now, this is where Mr. Stillwater gets to the gas station. Now you see when Mr. Cormavius Nichols gets to the gas station.
Y'all, I can't take this no more. I gotta fast forward it. This is killing me. Oh my God, I jumped 25 minutes and they're still freaking sitting there at the gas station. 25 minutes later.
Confirming that that's the person and that social media post.
This is ridiculous.
Now Shema's finally got into the car. And I submit this is what's happening. He wanted him to call on video real quick. Call him on FaceTime real quick. You know what happens on FaceTime. You've heard testimony about what happens on FaceTime. What happens on FaceTime is that is when criminal activity is planned because they think that FaceTime, you cannot track it. Now watch as Mr. Drinks pulls out of the gas station. They have been sitting there for minutes, y'all. Y'all been watching this video like, what we gonna do next? That's how long we've been sitting here. And as soon as Mr. Drinks pulls out, that is when Op vehicle number 1 pulls out, op hunting car. And then that's when the second car immediately pulls out. They sat there, y'all. We were quiet for at least 2 minutes here when they did nothing. And they want to tell you that some other car killed him? That's them driving by the liquor store. They laid in wait until Mr. Drinks pulled out. You have to look at all the evidence together, not just the FedEx video, but we're going to talk about that FedEx video. This is them pulling up to the light. You see there's somebody walking on the street, walking this way towards the gas station. Here go the 3 cars pulling up at the light. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't see it here, but we know that there's a red light. Shannon and Nichols are stopped at the red light. They stop. Drake is in the left turn lane. Shannon is right next to him, and Kwame is right next to Shannon. Y'all now see the traffic going in the opposite direction that they are in. Then you see Nichols pull up. I'm just going to submit that this car stops here. This car, I think, saw what happened. Because he stops a little behind it, like, whoa. You had the person walking down the street. Mr. Sharp, and we're going to talk about this car in a moment. Mr. Sharp talked about what the medical examiner said. What she said was there will be no conscious movement. She didn't say anything about unconscious movement. Because that is what you see with the brake lights, y'all. No, he could not consciously say, let me go. But the unconscious movement, because he does a shot in his head, is what is happening. They, y'all got to think about this, because this is what they didn't want to show you. Shannon, went from 18 miles per hour to 90 miles per hour. See, Mr. Sharp didn't want to talk to you about that. He want to tell you about a car that turned around because he heard a gunshot, but the man or woman walking down the street didn't hear a gunshot. That person walking, just chilling. You think if the people in the car heard the gunshot and turned around, don't you think that the person walking down the street would be like, hold up, let me back up? It's a gunshot down there. No. Could it be that maybe the car that turned around saw the liquor store and said, shoot, I'm going to give me a drink. It's Saturday. Could it be they left something at the gas station?
What the hell is she yelling at?
That doesn't
Damn.
make sense when someone is walking down the street. It don't make sense. Now let's talk about the car that was closest to them. You see what time the cars are going. Here are the 3 cars in a straight line. Do you see that straight line? It's a straight line. The 3 cars. Shannon's car is directly next to Mr. Drink's car. And that's going to be important when I show you these crime scene photos. This other car that he wants to talk about, that he's like, oh, this is the one who killed, this is the person who shot. Oh, and we couldn't get LPR. What? Where was I going to get LPR from? Can't see no license plate. I don't know what type of car it is. That car is never directly next to Mr. Drink. It is always behind. I submit they saw what happened. And when it inched up, they looked over, like, oh, let me get up out of Dodge. As most other cars did, except for Mr. Cheeseborough. Mr. Cheeseborough's call did not come in until 10:27, because every other car did what that car did. They drove by it. That car actually waited at the red light versus Mr. Stillwell almost hitting traffic. So this notion that he stopped at the red light, if you didn't just shoot and kill somebody, why are you fleeing through traffic to get on the highway at 90 miles an hour? Use your common sense. Many of y'all choose to talk to us at the end, and you care once the judge lifts all the admonitions. Some of you may ask, how I get chosen? We don't say, because you got common sense. Your common sense will tell you that when you go from 18 miles
Y'all better do what I'm saying.
When you see the person who you think killed your best friend, that you shot and killed him. That's just your common sense. Not some random car that pulls up behind and unfortunately may have witnessed a shooting and they don't want to be involved. Let's look at the car. The crime scene pictures take pictures for a reason. Here go the bullet holes. 1, 2, 3. See, Mr. Sharp didn't show you that. Because if you see the crime scene photos will show you that a bullet went through the door where Mr. Stillwell's car was. And we'll talk about the gunshot residue. What makes sense? There's no muzzle flash anywhere on the video. So that's just nonsense. You don't see no muzzle flash. Mr. Drink dead, though. So we know a gun was fired. Let's take his theory. You don't see the muzzle flash when the other car pulls up, do you? You don't. That theory makes no sense. You got to take all the evidence. Not just FedEx, but everything that occurred. Like I told you, he went from literally 18 miles all the way to 90. To 90. This is an intersection. This is 1 minute later. What you fleeing for 90 miles an hour? You ain't killed nobody. You was just chilling.
Damn, if she talks any higher pitch, dogs are going to start
go to the studio and do what you do.
answering her.
Because remember, they all went to the studio. And what did he say? Pop my shit. I really got options. Poor little ops. Look how they just dropped it. Poor little ops. Look how they just dropped it. Those are his words. After he just executed a man at a light. He goes to the studio to go rap about it. This is why they think they above the law. This is what Demekion said afterwards. Now I know, Mr. I don't know if y'all remember when them two got to it. Mr. Rito was like, he said city, he said city. No, he said, I'm coming back. We just coming back through, riding trying to see. This is at early morning hours on March 15th. Why are you coming back through the crime scene if you ain't did nothing? Why? This is Mechanicsville, y'all. They went to Fulton Industrial. This is coming back in the city trying to see. They came back through. Why? Because they want to see the police still out there. What they doing? They canvassing. And if the homeless people see what happened, let me try and see what's going on. And then what did Demekion say afterwards? This is on March 15th, y'all.
Fulton Industrial and Mechanicsville, probably about 15-minute ride on I-20 between the two. If you're booking it, you could do it probably a little quicker. Somewhere in there.
Here's a direct response to the shooting. Remember this on March 15th?
If they're talking about if the areas where I-20 intersects both. If it's south of that, then no, it could be longer.
Yeah, man. So we got down, thing they gonna correct. Thing they gonna correct. They do. Swear pull it up. Yeah, gonna come to the window. No, I was in the living room. Ain't nobody eat. You don't know what it is. What y'all know? Yeah.
What did he say? They shot Big Nick Spot because their boy got killed in Mechanicsville. Again, the streets know before we know.
Yeah, bro. I know. I read first one, so I did like, yeah. I can man, I'm tripping. Yeah, I said, what shit? I said, shit, I'm going to go straight to the woman. I had to stay at one. Yeah. But, yeah. I don't know it's free. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. And they go for it. Damn, somebody said, you out there? Yeah, was downstairs. Yeah, somebody, what's up, too, man? Hey, you talk crazy. What's that? Just talk crazy, man. Nah, let's go shit. You talk crazy about nah, it's about me, it's about my other shit. But I don't think I heard of that. Yeah, it's a lot of shit. So, bro. Yeah. Have it closed. They blow? Have it closed. Oh, yeah, I ain't going to do now. Yeah, he asked me what's going on. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. What the hell?
I don't know what the hell they're saying.
Yeah.
Lizzie is the ox. Carlos Barber. And so now. So there's a few things that happened in this call. So let's talk about the first part of the call. The first part of the call, they talk about Miles Farley. And if y'all remember, y'all heard the jail calls when they were trying to get protection for Miles Farley. Well, this call was on April 1st, early in the morning before Miles is arrested. And what you hear them talking about in the call is, one, I don't know why Miles got out the car. That's the only thing they really got on him because they saw him in the surveillance video. And more importantly, saying, tell Miles don't talk to the police. Tell Miles don't talk to them folks. Because Miles ain't never been in jail. So they think if Miles starts talking to the police, he the weakest link. So they're like encouraging Miles, don't say nothing to him. So that's what the two people in the shooting car are trying to make sure that they are protected by making sure Miles don't talk. So that's the first part of the call. Then you hear them talking about Dolly Wright. Well, we all know Dolly, Doug's sister. And they're talking about getting payment for a lawyer. And then before that, or right after that, they're talking about Blizzy seeing Demekion at the hotel in Cobb County. Remember, Blizzy is the ox, Carlos Barber. And so now Demekion is updating Shannon about what's happening. Because remember, Shannon's been in custody now since March 17th. What's also important is that they're on this contraband phone. So remember, early in the call, they're like, Shannon, I couldn't be on that other phone because they got my phone. So now I'm using somebody else's in jail contraband phone so that we can talk. So on this contraband phone, where they don't think anyone can hear them because they don't know there's a wiretap, they're like, hold on, Miles is tripping. Tell him don't talk to the police. He said the other boy tripping too. I said, man, he's talking about Carmavius Nichols. He said, I'm just trying to keep Buddy calm. Because remember, at this time, only 2 people are locked up. Shannon and Carmavius. Miles is not locked up, and we have not confirmed that DeMarco Boyer is a part of this. So he's trying to keep Quay down, trying to keep Miles from snitching, and that's what they're talking about. Then towards the end of the call, and I don't know if Mr. Shaw tried to flip this, but he says, if they get my car, it's going to be clean, because ain't going to be no GSR in it. Who says that? And let's see, did he go get the car clean? He did. These circles, and y'all gonna have this picture in the back, are watermarks. You see, they ain't do a good job cleaning it, but it's watermarks dripping on the dashboard, over here, because he got the car clean. See, he thought maybe in his mind that the gunshot residue might be on the dashboard.
I can hear her without the earphones on.
Because he shot that gun out the window.
My God.
He ain't shoot the gun in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Go
Jesus.
look back at the trajectory, and he could not have shot in the car. He had to shoot out the car because the bullet had to go through the car, through the window, into Chanel drinks. I said, man, he not inside the car like, ping, ping. That's not what he's doing. He gonna put his hand out the car and he don't shoot. So when he's talking about they gonna wipe the car, it's gonna be clean, because that's what he think the gunshot residue gonna be. And what did Mr. Colvin tell you? He said, I dabbed, I took 2 dabs. I think he said he took about 8 or 16 dabs, but I didn't dab the entire headliner. He said there could be portions that had it. That's just not what I tested. You saw how big the headliner was.
I can tell you somebody who used to do that for a professional living in Georgia.
Piece of headliner, yes? Or is it reasonable?
It should have been in the car.
Went out the car.
So the gun would have had to have been totally out of the car.
You might have some blowback, but not a whole lot unless the shooting happened in the car. The shooting didn't happen in the car. Therefore, it's not going to be a whole bunch of gunshot residue inside of the car.
There should be something.
Remember, we asked him if there's going to be a distinction between the two. He said there's going to be way more gunshot residue if, say, the Mickey and someone in the car fired. But if the gun is outside the car window, it's going to blow back a little, not a lot.
Pointing at love. She must love
that
her.
would be towards the direction of Mr. Grace. So any gunshot residue, he thought he wiped down. That's why he says that on a contraband call to his co-conspirator, who they both killed, Shamel. Don't worry about it, bro. There's nothing else. When they got the car, don't worry about that gunshot residue. We cleaned that. That's why he wanted to extend the car rental. He extended the car rental on March 15th. He had to. He couldn't take the car back. By this time, I got to get that thing cleaned down. We got to do something with it. He probably going to try to get rid of it. But we called him on the 17th. He ain't have enough time. Now I'm almost done, y'all.
Please, thank you. Oh, God, thank you.
Murder
Lord have
and the
mercy.
last murder in this indictment. Eerily similar they are. How ironic is it? They both
Please hurry up, lady.
They both happened near
You're
gas.
killing us.
They both using rental cars. One by Jeffrey Williams, one by Shannon. They both have multiple YSL defendants. They both travel after the murder. He talks about going. They flee to Miami. He talks about poker. He talks to Poker about going to Miami. They go into the studio, writing lyrics about it. They're both Chanel and Donovan are affiliated, associated with YFN. But they want you to believe this is just 2 totally unrelated cases. Oh, and Shannon is supposed to be the shooter in both of them. The one who's always on go, he says it himself, but Quindarius said it too. The one who wants to do the murder because he wants status in the game. But they want to tell you, don't believe any evidence that the state brought. Don't believe any of it. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you not to do that. You know, Mr. Drinks, young man may be trying to find his way, maybe getting caught up in the wrong crowd. But on that day, he should have been able to go to his girlfriend's house. He should have been able to maybe decide that these aren't the friends he want to be with. But no, this is what they did to him. Left him at the light like this. And for what? Off a social media post? This is trash that they're doing in our community.
Oh, I love how they're not showing the photo.
Donovan was
Thank
trying
you.
to turn his life around. Donovan was trying to get into the music business. Donovan was trying to leave that gang stuff alone.
No, he wasn't.
He up here drinking his glass of wine when you see the picture. But what
Really?
off of what? Because Donovan was
She's
at the
trying to
barbershop,
personalize
joking, laughing outside.
the
You see the
victim.
surveillance video, and left him like this.
And that's what you
All
would
in
do.
the name of YSL.
Now they're
All in the
showing
name of the game that they want to tell you
his
is a music
death
group.
photo.
It's music. This ain't music. This got a song right here. Y'all. This is real life. Real dead bodies. Real dead people. Real shootings. This ain't no song over a beat. And they know when they brought him to it, with his flag tattoo, his emergency tattoo, what they were doing. Ladies and gentlemen, they are guilty of every single count that they are both charged with. Mr. Atkins told you what this was about. Destruction of people. Destruction of the community that they live in. Deception. They
Aside
were
from her barking, I gotta get. She's done okay. Aside from her barking and getting the murder thing a little bit fuzzy and not being clear on it, she's done good. I'm shocked it's not the same lawyer I've watched for 360 days or whatever it's been. She's not a lawyer. She's good at presenting a case. She's not bad at it at all. She's too brash and abrupt and not as interesting as I would want to be. And she doesn't draw you in with her story. Instead, she's more kind of like, you kind of jump back a bit. Neither she or Love is any good at daggum in courtroom lawyering, though. They have screwed this case so bad, it's not even funny. So, yeah, given all that I've seen, she's done really well compared to her normal modus operandi. So, yeah, man. Crazy. But, anyway.
I'm telling you that these people in here are just lying just a lie. They're trying to deceive you, tell you that this is all about rap.
But my distaste for her is because I don't like her style. That doesn't mean she's not doing it right. So take that for what it is.
Music rap business? It is not. This is about death. How many dead bodies at the hands of YSL? How many people shot at the hands of YSL? They are a gang by every definition of the word.
Okay.
And
why haven't you charged them with gang statutes? Unless it's in the charging documents, and I haven't looked at it in a long time. But that's not even the ones that they're going over for closing. So very odd.
Talk about we're here just trying to get people of color? No, I'm trying to get gang members to stop committing violent acts in this community in Fulton County.
That's not going to happen.
Where each of their victims are people of color. The people that they destroyed, the people that they hurt, the people that they tarnished. Young boys. Bro, Dalia's Ryan could have had a promise in life. But what is it? He out here murdering folk at the hands of YSL. Christian Eppinger at the hands of YSL. Go catch you a body. That's how you become slime. That's what he says in his song. Go catch you a body. I'll show you how to be slime. And that's what these little boys are doing. Catching a body to be slime. But they want to tell you that we got a vendetta on people of color? It's ridiculous. It's absurd. And intimidation. These two defendants, Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Stillwell, are guilty. They are guilty of murder. They are guilty of gang acts. They are guilty of conspiracy.
Now she's talking about it.
And I ask of you.
You should have started that with it.
I know it took some time. I know you probably want to go home and get your turkey. I know I get it. But I am asking you all to go back there, finish this marathon, finish this race.
They are going to get the case to go back with it.
And the evidence, there's only one just
I'll be
conclusion.
dang. Is she going to really give him the case tonight?
Ladies and gentlemen, evil prevails when good men and women do nothing. I'm asking you to do something. I'm asking you to hold them accountable. I'm asking you to return a verdict of guilty. Thank you.
She did all right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your attention and your patience during this very long day. I know this was not an easy.
Like I said, compared to the way she's done all year, she did really good. But it ain't my style. That's she's taking way too much anger out on these guys here to the jury, and she shouldn't have. I just don't like her style. But she sucks along with Love as a lawyer in the courtroom. They're horrible. They can't get their shit together. They can't do nothing. She can get closing. She's not bad. I don't know what her opening, if she did opening, but I guarantee you love would have made me go to sleep. I mean, I'm already trying to like keep from putting toothpicks in my eyeballs to hold my lids up. But it could have been worse.
Day for y'all. It's been a lot of hours here in the courtroom today, but y'all paid good attention and close attention, and everybody appreciates that. So let me give you some instructions before you return tomorrow. To maintain the integrity of this trial, remember that you must decide this case based only on the evidence admitted during the trial and the law as I will explain it to you. I have not yet given you this law. I will do that tomorrow. So it's not yet time
they're
to
gonna get the
deliberate.
case
Do
tomorrow.
not conduct any research on your own about this case
I'll
or about any
be.
people or places mentioned during the trial.
They're
including
hoping to get a
online,
verdict by
through the internet,
Thanksgiving.
through any kind of traditional media or references through social
I'll
media,
bet
or by
it
asking
takes no more
anyone
than 6
anything about
hours.
this case, and not from any other source, electronic or
Bet you it
otherwise,
takes
should
6
you get
hours
information
or
about this
less.
case or about the law. Do not watch, read, or listen to any accounts of this trial that
Yeah.
might appear in the news media, on
I'm
social
not sure
media, or
what
through
they'll come
any
back
other
with. I don't know if it'll be
type
guilty or
of
not guilty, but
communication with
it won't
anyone.
take them no
In
2
short, as I
days.
told you before, do not seek any information, including even hypothetical questions about this case, from any source outside the confines of this courtroom. And until the deliberations begin, which is not going to be until tomorrow,
Yep,
after you
tomorrow.
have heard the law that applies to this case, do not discuss this case with anyone or even amongst yourselves. Do not allow anybody to discuss it with you. Remember, you all have a late start tomorrow, so I'll see y'all at 11. We won't have a traditional long lunch break since we're starting late, so go ahead and eat something before you get here and
Yeah,
come in ready
Central.
to get back to business
Okay.
on the case. We'll see you at 11. Thank you.
All right, the jury.
We'll see y'all then tomorrow. Thank y'all for hanging with me. I hope you did. I'm ready to go to bed. It sucked. Dude, I don't know how these people do this. I don't know how these YouTubers stream for 6 and 12 hours. I don't know how to do it. This was rough. But I'm glad, hopefully, if someone stuck with me, it's worth it. All right, click like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Adios.